Hi, good evening. Welcome to our second class of Indian Economic Development. Second chapter, Indian Economy in between 1950 to 1990 is our second chapter. Okay. Earlier we learned first chapter, Indian economy on the eve of independence, before independence. Now 1950 to 1990, what happened in Indian economy, everything is there in this chapter. Okay. Now from the beginning, we know India is a mixed economy. India following the category of mixed economy. There are three categories of countries, economic system in the world. One is socialist, another is capitalist, and finally mixed economy. Three categories of economic system. Based on this economic system, every country try to solve their central problem of the economy, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. And India adopt the policy of mixed economy. Okay, India adopt the mixed economy so that we can absorb all the good characteristics of socialist and capitalist economy. In a mixed economic system, it is a combination of socialist and capitalist, and we adopt this system so that we can absorb all the good categories of good criteria of socialist and capitalist. Now, plan is our first category. In a mixed economic system, plan is one of the important categories. Now, plan we adopt from the socialist economy. In socialist economy, the government used to take plan. India also following the plan policy, and India having 5-year plan. From 1951, we had started our plan. Our first plan was from 1951 to 1956. Second plan 1956 to 1961. Like that, one by one we are taking plans. Now, why plan is required? Plan is a certain goal which the country has to obtain within a given period of time by using its available resources. Okay, in every plan there are some targets. Based on the targets, the planners used to decide how to achieve the target within the period of time and by using the available resources. Suppose, for example, in India, in the first 5-year plan, India give emphasis on agriculture. Second 5-year plan, India gave emphasis on industries, like that. Now, in every plan, along with the main goal, main target, having some common goals are there. In every plan, these common goals are there. First one is growth, then modernization, then self-reliance and equity. These are the 4 common goals in India, in which in every plan we used to found. Now, growth is what? Growth is overall increase in the productivity of the country. Okay, overall increase in the productivity, production capacity of the country is goal. Then modernization. Modernization means modern use of techniques, modern techniques, change of modern outlooks, etc. In the ancient period, that is during the British period, there was no modernization in India. British used to exploit India by using primitive production techniques and other things. So our modernization was totally absent. So after independence, India government gave emphasis on modernize the Indian economy by using modern techniques of production, by changing the modern outlooks of the people, like that. Third one is self-reliance. Self-reliance means self-dependence. Okay, self-dependence means earlier we were totally dependent on the British government. Most of the commodities are imported from Britain. Okay, now we are not at all self-reliance. We are dependent on other countries. Now, if we depend on other countries, what are the problems? Most of our foreign exchange transferred to the other countries. Secondly, from those countries we import, or on those countries we are dependent on, they used to exploit our country economically, socially, like that, and they interfere in our own domestic matters. So these are the problems. So India government gave emphasis on self-reliance so that we should not depend on others. Finally, equity. Equity means equal distribution. equal distribution of income and wealth among the citizen of the country. Okay, why it is required? Suppose we increase our productivity, growth, we using modern techniques of production, we become self-reliance. But if our people are not getting proper income and employment, then it is totally wastage for the country. So government gave emphasis so that all the people of the country get income and employment. That is, there should be equal distribution of income and wealth in the country. So these are the plans. Government used to take plans so that there should be overall development in the country by using the resources of the country. So that what happened, there will be no backward areas, there will be no stagnant situation in the economy. So this is plan. Now first 5-year plan. Our first 5-year plan, was from 1951 to 1956, where main target was development of agriculture. Okay, why development of agriculture? We have to go back for that. In British period, what happened? Most of our production was based on cash crop, not food grains. Most of the food grains we used to purchase from other countries. Okay, India was not self-sufficient in food grain. Productivity was very low, because of what? There was no modern techniques. Very primitive techniques were used in the agricultural sector. Okay, so our productivity was low. After independence, what happened? Due to partition, most of our fertile land used to go to the hand of Pakistan. Okay, some used to go to the East Pakistan, some with the West Pakistan, that is Bangladesh. And India faces the shortage of fertile land, so our productivity decreased. After independence, there was huge drought. Consecutively 2 or 3 years there was drought, so agricultural productivity reduced. Okay, before that there was PL 480 law, Public Law 480. Based on that, USA used to give us food grains, but due to war with Pakistan, USA denied PL 480. Now we are not getting food item, wheat, rice from the America, USA. So India government requires agricultural development as early as possible, because people are getting shortage of food grains. So India government follow these 2 policies. First one is land reform, second one is green revolution. These 2 strategy India government used to follow. Now land reform is what? Land reform means equitable distribution of abundant land of the landlords to the tenants or actual farmers. Okay, earlier what happened? Most of the land was captured by the zamindars or landlords, and they used to do what? They forced the farmer to work in their field with a very less wages, and they used to give small amount of, the landlords used to give small amount of rent to the or revenue to the British government. Now what happened after independence? Indian government found that if the farmers are not getting the land, if they have not become the owner of the land, how the productivity can be increased? So Indian government do what? Land reform policy adopted, where upper limit of land is fixed. This is land selling. Land selling means no one can hold certain amount of land beyond the limit given by the government. Government fix the limit that no one can capture such amount beyond the limit of the land. So what happened? There is no more zamindars or landlords. All the lands were taken by the government, and those lands were distributed among the actual farmers. So that what happened? The farmers become the owner of the land, their interest increased, and productivity also increased. Then green revolution. For the sudden increase of production, India government followed the policy of green revolution in the mid of 1960s, that is around from 1965. India government followed the policy of green revolution. What is it? In the green revolution, the agricultural productivity, especially production of rice and wheat, increased in manifold through using HYV seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, proper irrigation facilities, like that. By using such modern scientific methods of production technique, our productivity of food grains increased in multiple times. Okay, how much is the multiple times? For example, for guess the idea, that time the government of Punjab and Haryana or other states where there was green revolution, the government used to make holidays for the schools for more than 3 months. Why that? Because production was so huge that it was not possible for the government to make warehouses or godowns in a short period of time. So schools were used as godown so that they can keep their food items, food grains in the schools as a godowns. So huge quantities of production was there. So by these two methods, what happened? India becomes self-reliant on food grains. We have no more to purchase from other countries. Now we are exporting food grains to other countries. Then after industry, in the second 5-year plan, India government gave emphasis on industrial development, because during British period there was no industries in India. There was no heavy industries. Only one industries were there. This was Tisco, Tata Iron and Steel Company. There is no more basic and heavy industries. And without basic and heavy industries, the industrial development of a country is impossible, because the basic industries and heavy industries is the base of all the industries, because machine tools, these are produced only in the basic industries, iron, steel industries, like that. So India government gave emphasis in the second 5-year plan for the industrial development. For that, India government take two policies. First one is IPR 1956, Industrial Policies Resolution 1956. In this policy, what happened? India government kept almost all the heavy industries with the public sector, and very few were left in the private sector. Why all the industries are kept in the private sector? Because public sector. Because public sector never run in profit motive. Public sector main target is what? Government's main target is what? Main target is welfare. Okay, welfare. Why for? Because of equity. Our goal is equity. So if the right is given to the private sector, then equity is not possible, because private sector will produce but not in welfare motive. They will produce in profit motive. Then the overall gain of the production will not reach to the every corner of the country. So government used to keep all the heavy industries with themselves in IPR 1956. Okay, earlier also one resolution act was done in 1948 or 51, but this was abolished in 1956, and new industrial policy resolution act was adopted in 1956. Secondly, government used to classify the industries in 3 categories: Schedule A, Schedule B and Schedule C. 3 categories of industry. All the industries are divided into 3 categories. In Schedule A, government kept around 17 industries, which is totally controlled by the government. What are those industries? Mainly these were arms and ammunition, aircraft, oil, iron, then machines, tools. These are the basic industries. All the industries are kept in the hand of government. Government used to regulate, control everything by the government. These are the 17 industries in Schedule A. In Schedule B, also controlled by the government, and private sector also allowed here, but it is under the control of the government. What are those industries? There are total industries were there. One is aluminum, then iron ore, then mining, then fertilizer, like that 12 industries were there in Schedule B. And Schedule C, it is totally given to the private sector, but not free. Government used to look after the matter. Under the government control, the private sector is given in Schedule C. How government control? Government impose licensing for the private sector. No private sector can start their business or industry without proper license taken from the government. So government control is there. If government think is suitable, then government used to provide them license. Otherwise, government will not provide. Not only that, if a running industry, private industry, want to expand their productivity or want to increase new unit, want to start new unit, then also they have to take license from the government. And after proper investigation, if government find this good or suitable, then only government give the permission or license. Means what? In Schedule C, it is operated by the private sector, but it is fully controlled and regulated by the government. So these were the industry, and government used to follow this policy so that there is rapid industrial development in the country. We need not depend on other countries for industrial purpose. Then finally, foreign trade. You know, in British period, India's having export surplus. Export surplus means our export was more than import, but the gain is captured by absorbed by the British government. How? All the export surplus were used for their own development purpose. They never used the export surplus for the development of India. So after independence, India government adopted the policy of export promotion. For export promotion or to protect the domestic producer, government follow these three important items. One is import substitution. Import substitution means to produce the importable items in our own domestic country. Means what? Which goods we used to import from other countries earlier, now we are producing it in our own country. This is import substitution. By this, what happened? Our domestic producers are getting advantage. They can produce their commodities in the domestic country and sell it. So they are benefited. Our domestic producers are benefited. Secondly, tariffs. Tariffs, a kind of import tax. Government used to impose tariffs. By this, what happened? Those commodities which we import from other countries, government imposes heavy import duty or import tax. What happens then? Automatically its price increases and domestic demand of those imported items decreases. Because price increase, people not used to purchase from the other countries. No, so automatically what happens? Our domestic product is encouraged and demand for our domestic product increased. So our domestic producers are getting facilities. Thereafter, quota. Quota also a kind of restrictions. Quota means quantity restrictions. Okay, those who are importing from other countries, suppose one industry is importing other countries, now government fix a quota that you cannot import more than 50 units. So what happened? Automatically he cannot import more than 50, so you have to purchase from the domestic country. So what happened? Our domestic demand increases. So by using these three strategies, India government try to increase our foreign trade on the basis of tries to increase our foreign trade so that our domestic producers are not loser. Keep on mind that our domestic producers are getting benefits. India government take these policies: import substitution, tariffs, and quotas. By this, our domestic producers are protected. So that's all of this chapter. These are, first one is plan. India government take the plan policy for the overall development of the country as early as possible. India government gave emphasis in the first 5-year plan for the agricultural development, in the second 5-year plan, industrial development, and to protect our domestic industry, India government take the foreign trade policy. So that's all of the chapter. You go through the textbook or any kinds of reference book, whatever you have, and then try to solve the questions of the exercise. That's all. See you.